next year it'll be 5
fast,
years.
man.
Yep.
Time flies.
Yeah,
You're getting old, Jason.
Is that what
That's what it
is?
is. That's what it is.
But no,
it's not me.
The content you all have been delivering, the awards, man, it just speaks volumes for being in the same circle with you brothers when it comes to sharing with the community. So happy to be a part of it. And what's up, Jay? We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Double J.
What's up, y'all? Having a good time. Truth on Politics.
Hey, what's up, Double J?
Not much. I'm ready to hear what y'all got to say. What y'all got to say.
We out here.
Well, before we get started, I want to say thank you for being here. We got some local issues that are like chopping up, and we got a county which I didn't know. I was concerned about the shortage of $1 million or $3 million, whatever it was. We got a $7 million shortage. Okay, we'll work through that and make cuts. It's a whole. And then I saw that we're behind on our infrastructure, basically our maintenance, $1 billion. And I'm like,
did you say $1 billion?
Well, for 10 years, they have not been updating the county. Like, they haven't been, like making, like the roads and the buildings and all that.
Okay, well, where all this money was going then if they wasn't up?
I don't know.
I'm just saying the money was coming in. It just wasn't going to where
I don't know what you're asking me for.
Hey. Look, this is what I don't like. When we hear these stories where money is being misappropriated or they don't know where the money at, you got to realize this taxpayers' dollars is going to a bank account and it's coming out through some type of transaction. I'm wondering who is supposed to be investigating all of this.
Well, here's how, if I remember correctly, through my taking classes and all that crap. So when I get the money and it goes into the general fund, and this is in general, it may not be exactly how it works in the county. They then take that money and there are allotments that you have to put in certain things, right? Correct. And so over time, those types of things are put into a fund, so when it comes up to get fixed, you just draw money from it, right? Mm-hmm. The same way Norquist did the police pension, right? Every year when you get your tax money, you're supposed to put X amount into the fund. The fund's doing good. It made 15% this year. I won't put any money in it. Even though you're supposed to, I'm going to put it over here. So they took that money for maintenance that they were supposed to do for the county and said, don't worry about it. Had they had it, they would have been able to just pay for the domes and be done. You wouldn't have had to need it. You wouldn't need a referendum. You wouldn't have to move money. That's not what they do. So with that, Tori, how do you figure that out? If somebody hasn't been given money for 10 years towards something, how you make that up?
You put them in jail. It sounds like there's some kind of fraud going on. I don't know. It just sounds like you did a clever way of describing fraud.
Of using that money to pay for other stuff. Wow.
But what they'll have to do is one, and you're right, Ken, because I think it works like that in general on most levels of government. And sometimes what happens is they take money from those pots and spend it on other items. The problem, like Ken said, is then you come up short. Right. Now, to be this far behind, it is odd that this is the first time we're hearing about it.
$1 billion?
Right. You just don't lose $1 billion.
Oh, you know what? We just behind $1 billion.
That's what it be.
Oh, infrastructure.
But then the problem goes, how do you make up for it? And here's where you're going to see the problem at, is because the city of Milwaukee and the county, their bond ratings are already kind of low, right? So maybe D rated. The state of Wisconsin has like an A+ rating. And so they're going to have to, one, either raise taxes to collect more money, or you got to try to bond for it. Now, if you already got a low bond rating, that's probably going to be hard.
That's like bad credit.
It's like, that's exactly what it is. It's like, that's exactly what it is. It's like bad credit.
So you're telling me the state of Wisconsin
got better credit?
Got a bad bond score with the
state of Wisconsin credit good.
Okay.
Now, our county and our city,
oh wow,
we got like
the county and the
600
city,
credit scores.
That's where all the brothers at.
Listen, you said it, I didn't. So they're gonna have to either raise taxes, but then you gonna be able to get away with that because you just raised taxes a year ago?
The 2025 budget is approximately $1.4 billion, which is a $28.2 million increase from 2023. According to the policy forum. The county's spending on operations will go up next year, while its spending on infrastructure will decrease. Infrastructure spending was elevated in 2024 as policymakers used the increased sales tax revenue to fund many projects, here it is, sitting on the county's maintenance backlog, which, as of the policy forum points out, is headed towards $1 billion worth of projects by the end of the decade. $1 billion. So if we're at 2024, it's at around, what, 400 million? 500 million? Like, how do you tell a county with like 1 million some odd people in it, hey, y'all, can y'all pony up $1 billion?
But we've been ponying up. It ain't like we not ponying up in this doing where everything is up.
Yeah.
It's just not making no sense all the way around. And, you know, I was talking about on my show where, you know, every time I see a statistic that comes out about the city, it's almost like you just want to be like, how do we get so many statistics that are going the wrong direction? Well, then you see the mismanagement. You see the education system being mismanaged. You see SDC, a lot of the, you know, all the way around. It's more than, you see the housing being mismanaged. So it's like everywhere you look, it's mismanagement of funds. When do the FBI come in here and start regulating? Or is that a criminal offense when you do tax dollars?
It's really not a criminal offense.
Okay,
so
maybe I took the wrong turn. Maybe I need to be up in some of these spaces where I don't have to go to jail for millions of dollars not being accounted for.
Took the wrong job. You should have went to radio station. Should have been a county executive.
Yeah, right.
Or a comptroller. I know.
Oh, wow.
I shouldn't have. I know.
Damn.
I know.
Hey.
I know. But it does go to. I'm sorry. That was low, even for me. But it does go to.
Don't put my name in there.
That was low for
Jason,
all of us.
oh, wow.
That was low for all of
Jason
us.
Fields.
But you know, it does go to the point of when you talking Tory and Ken about the mismanagement and some of the consequences. What we see, and again, I'm just pointing out the obvious. You have financial troubles with the city.
Right.
You had a comptroller, and I'm not knocking her. I'm just saying you had a comptroller who, when the financial stuff came around, nobody said a word. When the mismanagement came around, nobody said, "Hey, isn't she?" Hasn't she
Well, they kind of hit it, and she was like
Kinda
the
hit
number
it.
2, and we pretended like she had nothing to do with it.
Correct. And then your education system just hired her as your chief financial officer.
Here we
Crazy.
go.
So now,
Craziness. So she gonna hide
now-
all the.
So now, to your point, Tori, some people have the ability to, no matter how bad stuff is, it won't be us. They can go and, as Ken said, we hide it, or somebody's hiding it, and then these people get picked up by another government bureaucracy.
So liberal people do what conservative people do is just hire their friends.
Yeah, I mean that's that. I don't even think that's a political.
Right,
Certain
that's just
people do that. To our detriment, though.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And we don't complain about it.
We don't. We don't say anything because now when you look at all this stuff, do we really expect stuff to change if you just moving people around?
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. How are we moving forward with the same people who took us backwards? I don't understand the enthusiasm sometimes.
Well, I didn't take you back. I just kind of held you while you were running, and just kind of held you in place.
It's just a different way of saying it.
So they're going to have to raise taxes, man.
So how do you raise taxes on the people where when you talk about the average medium income, it's already low? I mean, you can't keep squeezing water out of a turn. It's not that it's nothing left, basically, but they're going to continue to find a way to put the burden on the people, even though it's being mismanaged.
But the problem is that the money that we're talking about doesn't come from technically the people. It only comes from those that buy things for the sales tax.
Sales tax, right?
It's going to come on the back of homeowners.
And
Correct.
Didn't the referendum go on the back of homeowners? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so what?
Well, it was a sales tax increase.
Okay.
So that additional money went from 0.5 to 0.79.
Right.
So now we're
Every
in
time
this
you buy
thing
something,
where every time you buy something, it's more. But if you're already short, then what?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: it must ain't a big deal because everybody asking for raises and they getting them. So how are we being okay? I'm just saying. All right. So all this going on, and they need the money, but yet everybody getting a raise. So how is that? I mean, somebody explain how can it not be going so well, but yet it's going well for me.
All right. 833-212-1017 is the talking text line, or you can hit us on the YouTube chat. Truth on Politics. We're here from 6 to 8. Jason Fields, Tori Lowe. When we come back, we already have recognized MPS local crime issues, issues with the budget is short. Let me see, over 10 years, $1 billion. That's only $100 million a year on average.
It's only $100 million.
How will these be impacted if Harris wins? And how will they be impacted if Trump wins? Or will it even matter? You're listening to Truth on Politics. We'll be right back.
Truth Nation!
And all our juicy jammers out there.
Make certain that you tap into Jam with Juice each and every day so you can quench your thirst.
That is right. You already know you can sip on us every single day, like Benjamin said, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But that's not all, y'all.
Catch us exclusively on YouTube for our 6 to 7 show.
Yep, only on Thursdays.
Catch Jamming with Juice each and every day on 101.7 The Truth.
Now sip on that.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Craving something mouthwatering? Head to Munchies, Milwaukee's finest quick service eatery. You'll love their gourmet egg rolls, wings, loaded fries, and fried fish. And don't miss their signature pasta dishes and soul food options. Plus, ask about their upcoming pound cake line. They're open Wednesday to Saturday, 12 to 6 p.m. Visit Munchies on site. Call in your order or get delivery. Follow Munchies on Facebook and Instagram at Munchies Detroit Style. Check out their website at munchiesdetroitstyle.com. Munchies, where your cravings meet satisfaction.
At Community Life Skills Center and Counseling Services, they believe everyone deserves access to support, regardless of insurance status. Whether you're seeking guidance in spiritual matters, battling substance abuse, or overcoming trauma, they offer a safe space to heal. From family counseling to navigating grief, domestic violence to fostering healthy relationships, their diverse services cater to your needs. But they're more than just counselors. They're educators too. So reach out to them at 414-226-5604. Your breakthrough is just around the corner.
Hi there, this is Pastor Richard D. Shaw of the St. Matthew CME Church, encouraging you to vote in this upcoming election. Your vote is your power. Every ballot counts and matters. Your vote shapes the future and can impact generations to come. Don't wait, get engaged, and get to the polls. Voting is not just your right, it's your opportunity to impact your community and inspire others. So rally your friends and family and let's create the change we want to see. Vote early or vote the day of. Just vote and be heard.
This is The Truth on Politics on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to The Truth on Politics. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm here with Tori Lowe and Jason Fields. I'm looking at this story on JS Online. You mentioned it, and then I read it, and it was. I'm gonna just say it, and I want to hear what you got to say. How much of a difference can 40 people make on crime? Milwaukee County officials are expecting it to be a substantial difference as they're launching the Advanced Peace Fellowship Program, an 18-month program announced today, will include 2 cohorts of 40 people between the ages of 14 and 24 who are either causing or have been affected by gun violence. The program aims to reduce violence. It'll last 3 years.
How much money they spending on this?
I don't really understand.
I mean, the thing is, they just throwing things to see if it's gonna stick. You know, where are the people that really deal with the situations? It seems like every time the subject matter of violence come up, they throw out another program, throw money at another program, and in 3 years, we have no returns on any of these ideas.
Milwaukee County received a roughly $2 million grant from the U.S. Department of Justice to fund the program over 3 years, which will be operated in conjunction with the Milwaukee Christian Center. That funding is bridge funding, allowing for the expiration of the American Rescue Plan funding that must be budgeted for by the end of this year and spent by the end of 2026. It takes $2 million to talk to 80 people about gun violence? $2 million?
I handed Ashanti Hamilton a plan from the front lines that I do all the time to affect 50,000 housing units in our neighborhoods.
No, we're not going to do that.
He didn't want to do it. But this, I don't know what this is. And they spending $2 million on it. I mean, and there's other people out here that are working on the front line that I don't see that get the opportunity to really enhance some of the services they're bringing for free. You know, the things that they're doing on a day-to-day basis. And this has always been a problem to me when it comes to the city of Milwaukee. Every time they talk about a program and they do that press conference and I don't know who these people are. And if you don't have a sense of what's going on in the environments that you're serving, if you're just coming up and just doing it for funding and money opportunities.
Well, I got to bring my partner nonprofits in so they can get
You're not going to make any change because these people are unfamiliar with the environments that they're trying to serve. And sometimes you get the black face. And, okay, you went to college. You've been away from the community trying to go to college for, how many years. You lived outside the city, then you come back. This is not the same city that it was when you left. And for the people that are on the front lines, this is a slap in the face because they always say, well, we don't have any money to help. And then all of a sudden you hear about projects like this. Well, this is a great opportunity to get those brothers that have been out here for 10 years to come up with a plan to really make it work.
People looking for jobs, right.
That's all I'm saying.
I think one of the issues becomes, for me, because I think when you're in these kind of positions, when you're in the leadership or executive positions, you have to resist the urge of being distracted by doing a whole bunch of stuff that will get headlines.
Right.
Because it is political. Because what you end up happening is, what you end up seeing is exactly what we're seeing. Another $2 million, and then what's the return on that? Versus, is that really the county's job to be doing that kind of stuff?
No. Right. No. But let me throw one in here. But I'm going to ask Jason because I know how you're going to respond. That $2 million with 40 people amounts to $50,000 per person.
Yeah.
Is it really worth $50,000 to get 14 to 24-year-olds, those who have caused or affected by gun violence? What's the outcome?
Right.
You say you want to reduce violence, but what?
Yeah, I mean, that's one, that money, that math, as the people say, that math ain't mathing, because that's one, too much money for...
It's $50,000.
And then what are you doing, right? And then for that small of a number...
But I'm not giving it to you, but I'm using it to help you.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying, but help them how? In what way? And because we don't know that kind of stuff, are we helping them go to school? Are we helping them invest? Are we helping them buy a house?
We're going to bring in outside speakers and nonprofits to make money.
Which goes to Tori's point. Now you bring in all these folks who you have people in this community who can do some of this stuff.
Man,
for free.
And what's happening is you're not, again, because of politics, it looks good if I announce, hey, Jason Fields is doing this new program. People, unless you kind of like us, where you close
know what's
to
going on.
Yeah, you think, oh, that's cool. No, that's stupid.
Mismanagement.
Because
wasteful.
That's not the purview of what the county is supposed to be doing. It sounds good, but you gotta have the balls to be strategic and go, you know what? That's not what we're supposed to do. There are better people out there who we can contract with, maybe for less money, it'd be more effective, and then we can put that money into the program where we behind.
So we can rebuild some roads.
We can rebuild some roads. So it boils down to how
I
are
see
you
this all the
moving?
time. I see this all the time, and it's just the same idea, like Office of Violence Prevention. Then they come under a lot of scrutiny. Then they change the name to Office of Wellness and Safety.
So what
But
happens?
it's the same people.
Let me ask the two
all
of you.
I'm saying is,
what happened with that?
I
What
don't
happened?
know. Actually, they dissolved it and went into Wellness and Safety. But it's the same people.
You know what I think happened?
Dealing with it.
I think it was politics, and I think that in order to create something so that a person could leave their job and still work and get a higher pension, we're going to dissolve this and create that and then appoint that person it. The problem was you have a person there who's actually doing her job, actually can show you on paper that these are the things that I've done. However, people need to understand that that's a patronage job. I know that's an old school Chicago Democrat word, but what that means is that it's an appointment. So I can appoint you to the Office of Violence Prevention, and I can remove you from the Office of Violence Prevention. That's where there wasn't a real big blow up and people got mad and upset because that person wasn't appointed by Mayor Johnson. So when the former mayor left and he came in, it's his prerogative to make that change.
Right.
The problem was we still hadn't settled on what exactly that office do. So then we changed it, got other money and grants, and then it created something different, and it kind of went into the periphery. And I couldn't tell you the name of the office.
Well, I'll tell you this. This is not just with only that situation. This is with almost every situation you look at in the city where we don't know the results. We don't have tangible outcomes, and there's a lot of money, a lot of taxpayers' dollars being spent. And so I'm out here risking my life, dealing with some of the tough issues. And a lot of those people referring people to me that's in these programs, that's doing these programs. So what I'm saying is, okay, we need better leadership, better people that are making better decisions on where the monies and the opportunities should be. Because I think if you're not in a certain clique or a certain group, you're not going to be considered. And a lot of people who are willing to make those sacrifices are leaving Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I see it all the time.
Before we take a break, let me check the Talking Texas line. Ken, Dr. Ken, how much is that $1 billion is allocated for the Brewers Stadium renovation? I recall that it wasn't a lot of money that they were putting on the Brewers.
No, I don't think it was because they got a lot of that money from the state. I don't think it was a lot, relatively speaking. But that's a good question. We have to look into it.
Felix C on YouTube say, follow the money, lock them up. They said, just like bad cops. 833-212-1017 is the number. When we come back, I got a question about the generation of the voter. What's that going to look like?
You want to do your question, the question you left and we came back to, the policies under, you had posed a question.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good question.
So before we go to break, so all this stuff, MPS, local crime, issues with the budget shortfall, I think we went down that rabbit hole and got stuck. How are these going to be impacted? If Harris wins, what does that look like? Tori?
I don't know on the local level.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the federal impacts the local. And
some of those grants, like what we just talked about with the county and Homeland Security.
There's nothing going to change then. If the same people getting their hands on it, then we might as well just continue to spin our minds wondering what in the world is going on.
And if Trump wins?
Nothing too much because, like I said, a lot of those ideas on the Republican side are so far out of touch with what needs to happen because they don't deal with our communities. If there was going to be a change, it would be through the liberal idea because they're in our communities.
Okay.
But since they're in our communities and nothing is happening, how are you going to expect somebody that's outside the community that our energy don't even create their situation to come in and make a change?
Jason Fields, Kamala Harris.
I think it depends on who's going to be at the state level. If Tony Evers and Democrats still win, then you'll see them follow that. If Trump wins, I think what you'll probably see is more funding towards small business entrepreneurship. Not that Kamala isn't doing some of that stuff either, but I think what I've noticed is just there's a difference between how we get to some of these points. But I think one of the things we'd have to look at is who's going to be on this local level, because the federal government can give us the money, but then
who's managing
it, and then what will happen? Because I think, again, and our organization got a lot of money, but to be very candid, I think some of it could have been designed better, because we were handing out money and it was so easy to get that, again, you get back to, well, how did we measure some of this stuff, man? I mean, what was the real impact?
Right.
And so I think it will depend on, we got a couple of congressional races here. So Peter Barker down in Kenosha is running against some Style. I think they neck and neck. Yeah. You got another conservative, Brad Stiles. You got another Democrat in Congress running against another Republican in Wausau area. So, it depends. And I don't think Eric Hovde, I don't think he's going to win against Tammy Baldwin. I think she'll probably pull it out. But I think it will depend on, you see a lot of money. If Kamala Harris wins, I think you'll see some programs that tend to be more socially based, with some entrepreneurship stuff still focused in. I think if Donald Trump wins, you'll see more corporate-based type stuff. But a lot of it will have to do with who's running and managing stuff here and how they react.
Most likely it's going to be the same people, because these are career ideas.
Yeah. And regardless of, because we're still, to a certain degree, you still under some of the Trump tax plan. Mm-hmm. So you got about a good 2 years before some really starts to effectuate change. But it doesn't mean that, I think ultimately what happens is, and this is what I've learned, man, the people on the ground should have more say-so.
Right.
In advising the people at the top, because the people at the top make decisions, and they not always the best decisions, man. I mean,
say how you really feel.
If you don't talk with people on the ground who do this stuff, it's like when you was in law enforcement, when you dealt with people in the community, you had a different kind of view. You knew more stuff. With you dealing with people in the community, you just see stuff differently, versus a bureaucrat who, like me. I was smart though. I had people like y'all, but you if we just making decisions with the strike of a pen and pad and we ain't talking to nobody, 9 times out of 10 is probably not the best thought out decision, because it's political.
833-212-1017 is the number when we come back. Generations of the voter. We are in a fight to get younger people to vote, and when I talk to them, they ain't really caring.
Yeah.
Like, I get one extreme to the other. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Truth on Politics.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
CBS Tonight.
If there's more violence coming, we can stop this together.
My team is on their way. Let's get to work.
New FBIs are back.
The assassins are inbound.
He has a knack for finding the suspect.
You're too old for this crap. CBS Tuesday.
This will be dangerous.
Must be Tuesday.
Is FBI Night.
I want you to trust me.
I trust you.
Tonight on CBS 58. The CBS 58 News at 10 with Natalie Shepard.
I think if you watch the other stations, you might think nothing good ever happens in Milwaukee, and we know that's just not true.
And Jessup Riceback.
We do find solutions to some issues in our communities.
We are focused on finding stories that are impactful, and I think that's something that really sets our newscasts apart.
It is an honor to sit in those chairs on that desk and help tell those stories.
Jessup and Natalie, weeknights at 10 on CBS 58, your hometown station.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice, it's a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Kamala Harris is pushing taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners. She admitted it.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Just listen to what Charlemagne the God had to say.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners. Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala's pushing her far-left agenda and ignoring our community. While we're struggling to pay our bills, Kamala's giving free health care and free housing to illegals. They're getting our jobs, and they're bringing crime and drugs to our neighborhoods. And what do we get? Nothing but empty promises that lead to empty wallets. Kamala's giving welfare to illegals and paying for sex changes for inmates. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for us.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024, Inc.
The Greater Milwaukee Urban League Ball is sold out, but you can still join in the fun and support the work of the Urban League. Participate in a special online silent auction of great prizes and experiences. Auction items include a night at Milwaukee St. Kate Hotel, an autographed Packers football, baseball, hockey, and soccer tickets, and a special evening at Lake Park Bistro. Go to the Urban League's website and click on the black and white ball tab. Visit tmul.org. Let the bidding begin.
This is The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to Truth on Politics. Tori Lowe, Jason Fields here. We're on till 8 o'clock. It's a great opportunity. You can find out all about the local and national elections and stuff that's coming up 1 week from today. 833-212-1017 is the number. White Widow, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good evening. I can't believe it. Tori and Dr. Ken together. happy to talk to you. Sherwin's not there, right? Because he doesn't like me, but that's okay. As far as our younger generation, they're just apathetic. And, you know, we as adults have been watching these commercials the last couple of elections. And, you know, they can talk about social media where there's no litmus test, there's no screen.
But do we really know that? Do we really know that there?
Well, yeah.
Or what? I don't know.
Well, right now, Elon Musk has put out 13,000 posts of the Democrats shipping busloads of illegals in to vote, and he's setting the stage for an appeal. It doesn't matter, Georgia or Alabama, they're ready to appeal unless the Kamala.
But do we know that the video was actually accurate? Do we know the video was accurate? Because we know that we can do fake video and we can do all this stuff's been done by Russia and here. So do we really know that was Elon Musk or is it just Yeah,
it was on his format. It's been watched for the last year, and the problem is that there's only been 10 in 40 years, 10 documented non-citizens voting in our presidential elections.
Correct.
That's one thing. But my concern also, listen to the Democrats and the Republicans on immigration, which is a hot topic. Abortion should not have been the lead with the Democrats when the number one reason for our kids dying is gun violence. They missed the boat. But the fact of the matter is that now I almost lost my train of thought. But and I'll just get back to it. I'm in this campaign. I'm working on this campaign, and you just can't. They're gonna appeal this. We're not gonna know it for months unless it's a landslide.
That's not true. That's not true. We have enough electronics and we have enough things that are many people that are gonna vote are gonna seriously outweigh people who use.
No. Alabama now. They're saying in the counties in Alabama, they just put it up, the Trump election board. They have 3 people at the end of polling They gave them a certain time. If all those 3 people, after they're done polling, count those ballots up to 18,000, if they don't all 3 come up with the same amount, it's going to be appealed. It's not going to be certified.
But that's in Alabama, and it's 1, and so we got a lot of
Georgia,
time.
and Georgia, we're talking about counties, a whole state. This isn't just one county rule, my friend.
You do understand that happens
Just watch what happens afterwards.
Elon
Musk is setting the platform for appeals. And with the disinformation.
Why, widow? That's what happens every single time. Somebody complains. It's not going to be enough because whoever will win will probably slip significantly over 270, right? Mm-hmm. Which means you'll knock it down from 274, 278
so
to
you're
272.
Saying it won't be a big enough difference.
It's not going to be a big enough difference because the difference in those precincts are so small. I think. I don't think it's going to come to that. Thank you for your call. 833-212-1017 is the number. Steed, you're on Truth on Politics.
Hey, Doc, how you guys doing?
I'm
Jason
good.
And Tori.
What up, Steve?
Hey, good, man. Hey, this is mostly directed at Tori. Tori Lowe, man, I probably disagree with you about 99% of the time.
That's what's up.
But I support you 100 in your efforts in our community.
It's all the same to me.
Because you're the only one with you're the only one with the boots on the ground right now, and I applaud that. Dr. Ken and I, we had our time in our community, and I'm currently exhausted. However, I do applaud your efforts, man, and that's what's up. But I want to know, is your organization, is it a non-profit? And the reason I want to know that is because
me?
I don't
have an organization.
Yeah, Tori?
I don't have no organization.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is just only an idea or a suggestion. If you were a nonprofit, we could, as business owners, we could give you money, and it'll be a tax write-off for our business. We know that you make the greatest impact in our community. So instead of complaining about what the Crime Prevention Office does or don't do, we can't help that. It's just like MPS. They patted all that money just for the top people to get paid. What about the students? So we can't help what they do with that money, but we can help how many of us participate in giving your organization money. You write in your salary, whatever that salary is, and what it costs to run your organization, and you keep doing what you're doing, because right now I think you're the only one out there doing it, you and Liz. So a lot of us small black business owners, we say, hey, look, let's control where our money goes. We know Tori's going to get out there and do what Tori do. You know what I mean? So, and these things, it takes resources to do.
Right.
So instead of, complaining about those other, that guy, the crime prevention officer, we know they ain't going to do nothing.
Right.
If they were smart, what they would do is contract out with you to make better results for them. But they're not that smart. They're just sitting back getting that money. So I would support that. 1,000%.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And I think that other small black business owners like myself, I think that they would support. I know that we will all support you, man.
Like I said, I listen to people when they talk, because that's why I went and presented the plan to the city, because somebody's like came and said what you said. Hey, Tori, why don't you present something? And so that was done. Okay, now you said, hey, Tori, why don't you create an opportunity for us to work and make sure that what you're doing is being able to be supported. I hear what you're saying. And like I said, but I'm a result-based person, and sometimes I have to make sure that what I'm doing fits the energy that I'm trying to put out here. So you're right. It may be around that time where I should say, because we went through these ladders, we climbed these ladders and seen what's going on. So you might be right. Maybe 2025 we'll start doing that.
No, Tori. We're telling you that's what you need to do.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm telling you, I got you. Because I never took a penny out of this community for myself at all.
Right.
Zero.
Right.
I mean, but at this point, it may be logical to do.
Right.
I appreciate Steve saying that, man, because I think that's a great idea.
He's telling the truth, yes.
But knowing you, I think you were all, and again, I could be wrong, but I think knowing you, because I used to trip like, man, bro, do this for free. Right. Like, I ain't doing this for free. But I think there was a part of you, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that was like, I don't want the drama that comes with getting into all that stuff.
Well,
and
they water it down.
Right. And then if people say they're going to come up with money and then don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, and again, I know Steve cool, man of his word and all that stuff. But I think it is, I've always said, when people say, Jason, you should run for mayor, show me the money first, man. You know, let's.
For sure.
You know, but I think, Jason, Steve, you right. Go ahead, Steve.
He's right. He's not wrong.
But Jason, here's the thing. We already don't control the taxes that we paying.
That's true.
They controlling it.
That's
this
true.
is a way for us to control it. We give it to Tory. We know doggone well Tory's going to be. He got boots on the ground, him and Liz, kicking in people's doors, doing this and doing that. That's what probably needs to happen.
I think
we already can't control. We don't control where our money go right now already.
Right.
So forget about the crime. Let's stop talking about them. We know that they ain't going to do nothing. Ashanti Hamilton, they ain't going to do a damn thing. But we can't control because a portion of our money goes to his organization anyway, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And if he was a smart man, he would contract out with you and say, what would it take for you to make a difference? And let's join together. And that way his organization looks better because he contracted out with people who has boots on the ground. He obviously ain't going to do it. So let's leave him alone. Let's put him on the shelf somewhere. I don't want to disparage another black man. That's not what I'm here for. You know what I mean? But, we can't control where our money goes if we give it to Tory's organization. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good idea, though,
Thank you for the time, gentlemen. Thank you for the time, man. I'm gone.
All right.
All right, take care.
Yeah, I used to trip like, bro, do this for free.
You know, we talk.
Yeah.
You know? But see, like I said, I mean, don't nobody control nothing I'm saying.
Right.
So that was the freedom to be able to say what I was seeing.
Because it is a price to whenever you take some money, it's something.
Always,
it's something.
They have to you get muzzled a little bit.
You got to be careful.
And like for 15 years, I was able to see and say what I was seeing.
And then there's no
without having any type of somebody. If I say this is going to happen to me. So I love that freedom because if it's happening to the black community, a lot of times when I would look at the black media, they was in a box. They put us in a box.
Yeah.
And when I got the opportunity to get in the front and say what I tried to break that box, I tried to crack that box with a sledgehammer because we need to see everything that's happening. Because if we know what's happening, we know what adjustments need to be made. But if we don't even know what's going on and we're not informed on the other side that what's happening, then how do we make the adjustments mentally if we don't actually see it as a problem?
And Ken, you said something that comes with it. And typically what happens is, being who you are, you go through this, you start the program. One, you're going to have to deal with the jealousy and envy. And you talked about it a little bit on your show today from Chicago and how you came to Milwaukee, and there's this, we don't really reach out and lift each other up, you know.
Right.
And, I mean, let's be honest, it will be, and it's unfortunate, but you hit the nail on the head, Ken. It will be some people who start to plot and be like, well, why Tory this? Why you know what I mean?
And if I can't get it, I'm taking my toy and I'm going home.
And so, I mean, I again, I don't think that should stop you, but I do appreciate and understand that, hey, if you're gonna go down there, it's a lot of stuff you got to consider because you know when you taking money, it's all good, but you at some point you got to just make sure, and I think you hinted towards this. I want to make sure I'm still able to do what I do.
When we come back, I want to talk about generation because we never did, and gender. Like, how will those two play a part in this election? You're listening to Truth on Politics.
The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
Truth Nation, it is Denise Thomas from Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, and I am so excited for you to tune in to our monthly interview with Old National Bank. Old National Bank will be joining us to discuss why they are so committed to supporting women and people of color-owned businesses while also discussing their Empowerment Loan Program, which can provide your business access to funds up to $5 million. So don't miss our Truth Be Told monthly interview with Old National Bank at 8 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power, or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Make Milwaukee work for you. 1MKE provides easy-to-use information on local, state, and federal programs that can save you money and improve your well-being. Discover events you can attend to get involved in your community and find nonpartisan resources to help you make your voting plan for the upcoming election. 1MKE envisions a future where every Milwaukee resident understands how being civically engaged can help us create a healthier, stronger city. Because together, we are one Milwaukee. Learn more at 1mke.org.
Sybaris Pool Suites. Romantic, luxurious, affordable. A place where romance touches paradise and the memories of a lifetime are made. Sybaris offers a variety of room styles, including the exquisite Chalet Suite, which spans 3 levels and features your own private swimming pool with cascading waterfall, soothing whirlpool tub, a cozy fireplace, and much more to make your stay unforgettable. They are located in Mequon, just north of Milwaukee. Take a virtual tour at Sybaris.com.
Ready to glow? RN2 Go Medical Services has you covered. With a top-notch team, including a skilled RN and medical doctor, they offer personalized treatments just for you. Feel fantastic with exceptional post-op care, invigorating IV hydration therapy, and vitamin injections. Enjoy advanced skincare, effective weight loss programs, and beauty enhancements like Botox, fillers, and PDO threads. Rejuvenate with PRP therapy and sculpt your dream body with cutting-edge body sculpting treatments. Why wait? Visit DestinationAestheticsMKE.com now to book your appointment. Your new radiant self is just a click away.
This is The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to Truth on Politics. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe, Jason Fields. 50 minutes after the hour, you still got a few to call in. 833-212-1017 is the number. The caller, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good doc, Jason, Tori Lowe, how are you, brothers?
Blessings,
good. What's up, bro?
All right, comment or question?
And Tori Lowe, this call is for you. I just want to first thank you, sir, for the way that you stood on your principles in your interview with Senator Ron Johnson, and you did and said what you always say, a point that we agree on, and asked that man, would he support reparations, and his answer and the responses that you got from myself and the other people who support that thought, and what I believe that our ancestors were cheated out of. I salute you and Liz Brown. I'm sorry she's not there to hear me say this with all the emotion that I have, because that's what we need. Today I was driving through Brookfield, for example, and this country has more than enough money to repair and to repent from those sins of us living on stolen land. And what I think history has taught us from Rome and Greece is borrowed time. So no matter what this particular election does, we need to straighten ourselves out, because the whole world is watching and it's a fiasco. And I think we should keep saying the word reparations, and I'm going to keep yelling it out loud with you and pass that thought on, even if it goes beyond our lifetime, that our ancestors didn't deserve to come here, be tortured, work for free, and have everybody else come and get what we built for free. And then we have to beg for it. So thank you, sir.
Hey, I appreciate that.
God bless you and everything you do, man.
God bless you, brother.
All right, take care.
Thanks, bro. Great call.
833-212-1017 is the number. Generation and gender. I'm confused about like you can't put a finger on how people feel, because everybody is so close.
What you mean?
Generation-wise, we got Gen Z that sound like, if I close my eyes, they sound like baby boomers.
You think so?
Yeah. You got millennials that are divided into older millennials and younger millennials. The younger millennials seem to be closer to Gen Z, where they're like, okay, I ain't trying to feel any of that. I'm going to do what I want to do, and thank you for telling me. I appreciate that. Go somewhere and sit out. Like, it's just a weird thing. Older millennials are, no, you got to follow this. period. Like, if you don't follow this, something wrong with you. We gonna fight. Like, it's just a weird. It's almost like it's reversed.
Well, I'll say this. I remember when cancel culture was real huge. And I think that, when you look at cancel culture, the women's rights movement, when you look at all these different levels of culture, and like you said, Gen Z, millennials, and how they was moving forward. And I think that right now, Generation X is not talked about enough because we were the last generation to be able to play outside and do all the things. And now everything is so technical. And I think that now everybody's just being programmed by social media. And
without a doubt.
So we were the last generation to actually have a childhood without the tablet, And I think that now, when I look back and I see now where 3-year-old kids are very much in tune with the technology, and the elders, they don't want nothing to do with the new technology, and the young kids are becoming way more smarter than the adults.
But are they
with
becoming
the technology?
But they're really not, though.
I'm talking about as far as like the technology,
the use of technology, and the garbage that you're getting out of it.
I don't think
principle-wise, I think you're getting dumber.
Wise. I don't think they're wiser than the elders here.
I just think you're getting dumber quicker.
There is a little bit of loss of, and I've said this when I've filled in on both of y'all shows, my concern of the dumbing down of America, because it is the more easier things become, the less you have to use. I mean, your
intellect,
critical brain, your intellect, and it is a difference. I mean, having to manage different people from baby boomers to a few Gen X to some millennials, and then what's the group under them, Gen Y, Gen Z or something? The work ethic is different too.
Right.
The mindset. When it comes to politics, I can appreciate why you get frustrated and tired of it all, right? However, I think from what are we, Gen X? Gen X.
Well, somebody's saying Gen Xers are much more resourceful. I don't know.
That's because you're not a Gen
That's because we invented everything, so we kind of generate.
Let's get him. No, but I think because
we got about a minute.
We grew up with that. You had to be independent. You did play outside, and I think we watched people older than us, and we had to learn from that experience, the emotional intelligence, what it means to work hard.
Right.
Not saying other people don't, but I think we were the last to see it. What? Why are you looking like?
Well,
look at his face.
And a lot of people, depending on, I'm talking about the black community. I'm talking about because I could go on the South Side and still be playing outside, and people sleeping with their doors unlocked.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking about specifically,
right?
Where I grew up on 5th and North Avenue, the environment that I grew up in, where we were able to stay out till the lights come on and things like that. We were at the last bit of that.
Boomers did too.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying when I got older, I started as an advocate. Well, as an advocate, I get to see like the whole dynamics where some kids they have to stay in the house on these tablets or play video games all day, and if they are outside, they have to have supervision.
You're listening to Truth on Politics. 833-212-1017 is the number. In the next segment, we're going to be looking at your calls on the talk and text line and YouTube chat. It's kind of blowing up. We'll be back.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Hello, Milwaukee. Did you know that the average American doesn't get enough fiber in their diet, and this can affect everything from your cholesterol, blood sugar, and your weight? We have a special offer for Truth listeners that you can take advantage of today on our wonderful fiber gummies. Buy one bottle of fiber gummy for $13.50 and get free shipping. Call now, 800-632-0559. That's 800-632-0559. Or go to invitehealth.com and use promo code MIL1. That's MIL1. Get your gummy today.
Coming with straight truth.
I want to ask you just a simple question. Are you afraid of black people? Yes or no? And if so, why? Does it matter where we're from? If we're from Africa, are you more afraid of an African black, a Haitian black, a Caribbean black, a Jamaican black, a Kamala Harris black, like a hybrid black? Are you only half afraid of biracial people? Are you afraid of black people? I'm curious. And if so, why? Has a black person or have black people hurt you or harmed you in any way?
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Milwaukee Black Talk.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to Truth on Politics. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, along with the Tory Lowe and the ubiquitous Jason Fields. He's everywhere. Every time you look up, like, Jason's there. What? He was there on Saturday during the Truth Summit. Y'all missed a great time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Y'all missed a great time. And so our talk and text line is kind of blowing up. So Gen Xers are much more resourceful. What do you think? And then somebody said, Tory, that's not true. I'm a millennial, and I played outside all day. I also didn't grow up with social media. I'm currently 32 years old. Well, that's because your mama did. You had a smart mother and father, I guess.
Hey, let me tell you something. Yeah, you got spared.
And then somebody said we had to because our boomer parents left us home alone.
We were latchkey kids.
That's because y'all kept crying for everything you wanted, and both of them had to work to get you. That's my excuse.
Right. Now, that is interesting, though. I think when you look at Gen X, that generation where times are different, man. I mean, you had to be somewhat independent and grown. Both parents worked and went to school. We latchkey kids. And
your social media was actually walking through your neighborhood.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
You had to go down the street, meet friends.
And you remember growing up, we didn't even have the internet.
Wait a minute. I could leave and go downtown and then walk back home, and my mama didn't call me because she didn't have a phone, a page, or nothing.
Right.
You just came back home. Be home by 12. Okay.
But now we're living in times where it's totally different, and I never wanted to be like my grandmother when the VCR came out and technology, little bit of technology started happening.
Right.
She wanted me to work the VCR all the time because she was, this is new technology for her.
You ready?
Yeah.
That wasn't it.
No, but what I'm saying is.
That wasn't because it was new.
Well, I don't know. She just probably wanted me to press play.
Because I'm closer to her age than I am to yours.
Oh, okay. Well,
I can tell you now that ain't what it was.
Well, I don't know. I was a kid.
You ready?
What was it?
She was like me. She was just lazy.
Okay, but what I'm saying
that's what we're doing.
Well, a lot of people is lazy on technology.
They are.
But what I'm saying is I never wanted to get in a space where the younger generation, I wanted to keep up with the technology because that's a lot of power when things are changing and you don't know or understand what it is. So you're giving these
sound like politics
younger people a lot of, I'm talking about, you don't know, you're in the blind, and you're depending on somebody to come in and make changes because you're not willing to really sit down and really learn what basic needs of the technology is.
Right.
So a lot of people are right now that they're not willing to look at a lot of the technology. I don't want to deal with that.
Right.
But now you got somebody in high school and maybe in college that's understanding that have a little bit more control over the idea than you do, and then you don't even know where to look to figure things out. You're going to always need somebody to help.
Who's now being given, because of this algorithm, all the information that somebody else wants them to know.
That's right.
Not what you want them to know. And now you got your 3-year-old sitting on the tablet going through Snapchat, watching all the things that the algorithm gives them. And then they grow up with a certain mindset.
Right.
And so now we have politics today.
Yeah.
Where people are now doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It has become so dangerous. There was I think it was a TV or news broadcast or show that stated, it showed over in Asia or China, rooms where they had hundreds of cell phones connected and lined up, responding to text messages, all these bots, and just keeping conversations and stuff going. Nothing, and people were just eating it up, man. And just
wow.
And it's one of the things that I think when we talked about before, when you look at the danger of some of this stuff, and y'all both hit on it, you hit on it, that there was a question asked, and I've said this before, kids over in China were asked, what do they want to be when they grow up? Most of them said like astronauts. Over here, same question asked, most of our kids said social media influencer.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here like, man, if that's how we're being manipulated and controlled, and we're not thinking critically, we're accepting news as just as is, no research.
Right.
We don't even know how.
Yeah, we're just getting programmed, and we don't even have the critical thinking skills to question whether what we're hearing, does it make sense? Is it true or not? And if it's not, how can I research to find out my own answer?
And I'll say this, when I was coming up, you really had to open up a book.
Yeah, you did.
Now they got Snoop Dogg reading you the book.
I don't like to read.
They got the voices now where you can pick what star you want to read you the book. So it's like, okay, how do we take this technology and not fall so far behind with the actual critical thinking skills? Instead of letting the technology work on us, how do we work and take advantage of what's out here as a black community so we can get a piece of the technical world?
So I have a comment, and I want you to tell me whether or not you agree or not, starting with Jason. Elon Musk is wrong when he tells you you do not need a college education.
I don't think he's wrong.
Can you define college education?
Right. I don't think he's wrong if you use the words college education, because you can learn, depending on where you're going, some of the same stuff, and you don't even have to be enrolled in a college per se. You got YouTube videos, you got Coursera stuff online, certificates. A lot of people are moving towards the certificate programs. And I think to your point, what is a college education? If we're talking about, can you expand your mind and learn? Do you need to go to college to do that? I don't think you do. Right. I think you got a lot of people who haven't done that. I might be a little biased because I'm in school now, but I do think, depending on where you go, you want to make sure you're learning some stuff. Particularly, and maybe that's because I'm just in this research phase stuff now, but I don't think you need to go to college.
Tory Lowe.
Well, I'll say this. Some of the richest people I know didn't go to college or didn't even finish college. They probably went a year, figured, hey, why don't I start a business? And then they became successful that way. A lot of people that I know that graduate from college, they work for that person. So, I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're not an entrepreneur, then you need those certificates to get up into a corporation to get in the door for the requirements. But if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business mind, you don't really need it, because then the time that you're spending the 4 years to develop as a student, you can develop as an entrepreneur if you know what you're doing, if you have the understanding of what you want to sell. So, and to me, you'll hire that person that went the 4 years to work for you. That's what I'm seeing.
So then what about the fact that you're guaranteed not to be able to move anywhere, because then every time you want to go get a new job, you have to go get that certificate or you have to go get that. Whereas college gives you the critical thinking skills to adapt while you're there, grow into the job, and change. So it sounds like to me, and again, tell me if I'm wrong, starting with Tori, that I am creating low-level jobs to guarantee that I have future workers, but then other people are going to college and they're going to end up being your boss.
Well, I'll say this. That's if you play in the college system. I can be your boss if I got a higher degree than you, but if I went and started a business and it became successful, it doesn't matter what your degree is because I
But how
own the
many
company.
people are going to do that?
It's a lot of entrepreneurs out here.
But how many people are going to build a multi-billion-dollar company?
Well, I didn't say multi-billion. I said a successful business. It depends on what you think a successful business is.
True.
Okay, so when I look at it, I'm for people going to college if you don't know what you want to do.
Right.
Like, so that way you'll have leverage, and when you do try to make moves, that leverage will be there. But I figure if you are making a unique product and you're fulfilling a need, then you need to spend your time figuring out how to get this product out to the masses.
Sure.
And it's the same effect to me.
Like in the end, you win.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter. But I'm not going to say what I think about it, but that's just one of those things that now we're at a crossroads where college is getting less and less, right? There are less students born, so there'll be less students going to college. And so what does that look like? Because neither one of the presidential candidates have I heard mention education. Not one. Like nothing. Like zero.
Well, I'm seeing that they doing away with some of the educational requirements for some of these jobs. Like,
but again,
in the last couple of years, they are saying that you don't even need to have a college degree to be in some of these technological jobs and some of these, things where you got to work. And I'm thinking I'm seeing a new idea where technology is starting to take over, and a lot of those people that are actually learning how to hack computers, they not going to college. They in a room with the computers figuring out the codes.
Right.
And so they're opening up the door to say, hey, look, come work for us because you spent all these man hours figuring it out. We don't care if you have a bachelor's degree.
But here's the difference. That's all you're ever going to do.
Right. But like I said, it's some people with hold on, wait a minute. You said that, but it's some people with degrees that's out here in poverty.
Yeah, but
that
at
don't
least
guarantee that you're going to be successful.
But I'm not saying. But also, watch this. Generationally, right? It's not either or. It's all of that. And there's a lot in the middle where people are making it and they're doing fine. And I think we forget about them. And so if I want to go anti-degree, I point to, look at this guy, he's doing great. And if I want to point anti-school, I point to the person that graduated. Now, you made a choice in a major that you probably shouldn't have chosen.
Right.
That's the problem why you're not making any money. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that you went to college, right?
Yeah.
So,
and with social media, it changed the game too.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if you're good at something, you don't have to. If you can get paid to be a content creator, and then if you're really good at what you're doing, just off of visual, the company will come and find you now. And say, hey, we'll give you this opportunity.
I think we did a lot of this stuff. We did ourselves a disservice to society because we got caught up in so much of, at one point, saying everybody, you should go to college, you should go to college.
Right.
And then we totally ignored that, one, not everybody is meant to be going to college. And learning different. Should everybody be in a college? I don't necessarily know if I subscribe to everybody should go to college.
I do.
Particularly when I know you do, particularly.
But it's a different kind, right?
Right.
Certificate versus 2 year versus
I see what you're
4
saying.
year versus, that's all.
But if you're looking at getting into the trades or something like that, apprenticeships, on some level still a kind of a college.
Right.
And so I think what we were saying is we were pitching people, you need to go get this 4-year degree from a university. And I don't think that was necessarily accurate. I think what we should have been teaching people is, hey, let's try to find out how to continue to have you grow and learn and find and match the skill sets to something that where you'll be productive. Because I think to your point, what happens was, and it dawned on me once I started having a bunch of people I knew were getting all these degrees and stuff, and then later on didn't have no job. I'm like, well, why the hell did you get a degree in English?
Right.
If you're not going to be teaching,
you're not going to be a teacher, and if you're not going to be a writer, what are we doing?
I mean, well, that's cool, but that's not helping you.
There's an argument that school systems teach you to be employees.
I agree with that.
And so the structure of the school system and the employment idea go hand in hand.
Without a doubt.
So a lot of people
the
are
Carnegie
saying,
method.
Because I remember when I got out of school, when I was done with college, I didn't even know how to start an LLC. Like they didn't teach me in school how to become an entrepreneur, but they did teach me in school how to follow and fall in line. Right. You know, so I think a lot of people struggle once they get out of school. Why am I not successful? Why didn't this degree translate into me having a successful business, being a successful business owner? And so this is where the confusion comes, because I don't think that neither one, I think that like you said, everybody's not meant to go to college. Maybe you were meant to be an entrepreneur by the way you think. Right. And so I think that it depends on the person. But I think we pushed so hard with the education that a lot of people who should have been entrepreneurs went on to college and they got confused on, now they're working at a job and they're saying, why I'm not getting a promotion? I should own this place. They're stuck in this mind frame. And I think that we have did a disservice with a lot of people when we ignored the trades. We're pushing for the trades, and the trades, they said that a lot of the plumbers and the HVAC industry, the HVAC industry is making a lot of money.
Yes, they are.
But they've always made a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
You're listening to Truth on Politics. When we come back, what is the current data showing about the voter? Because I'm looking at these polls right now. I don't really know what I'm reading. I mean, it's so close. Like some of them are 0.2%. I don't get it. But I'm going to ask Jason and I'm going to ask Tori, because this is starting to make me wonder, are we going to actually have a president on November 5th? You're listening to Truth on Politics. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next. The Truth app is home for all the Milwaukee Panther content you would want.
He'll dart baseline, and he will tomahawk it home with his right hand.
From conversations on the airwaves.
We're going to defend every board up the floor and every bounce and every pass. And we've got good depth, and you have to have good depth for the way we play.
To game highlights.
At the top, rises for three over Young and buries it.
Find The Roar on the Truth app, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts to keep up with Panthers hoops.
Milwaukee Health Services Incorporated is celebrating 35 years of serving all income and medically underserved populations of Milwaukee's metropolitan area. MHSI is a one-stop shop that provides medical, radiology, dental, pediatric, behavioral health, pharmacies with affordable medications, and more. Also, MHSI's new family medicine residency program, located at the Isaac Cobbs Heritage Health Center, has brought 28 family doctors to our area, which is significantly impacted by healthcare workforce shortages. Become a new patient today. To schedule an appointment, call 414-372-8080. Your health is their business.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
If anyone knows the joy of rescuing animals, it's me. Just ask my rescues, who are all very important members of my family. Your life can also be forever changed by adopting a shelter pet. And it's not just about happiness your pet gets from finding a loving home, but that which you'll get from bringing them into your life. The heroes at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years, whether it's rescuing animals caught in disasters, ensuring the safety of animal stars on screen, or protecting our planet's endangered species. They go above and beyond to further their mission and make the world a kinder place for animals. Please consider adopting a shelter pet and support American Humane. You can learn more at AmericanHumane.org.
Brought to you by American Humane.
This is The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to Truth on Politics. I wish y'all was here because we have more of a conversation like outside than inside. So we're going to keep it. We're going to talk about data and what people are seeing in these battleground states. But first, Miss Carolyn, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth on Politics.
How you doing, Dr. King?
How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing, Tori?
Blessings. How you doing?
I'm good. I have to write my stuff down because y'all was talking for a long time and I was on a long break and I'm on. So I have to write my stuff down. So
you're not gonna say hello to Jason? You're not gonna say hello to Jason?
I said hello to Jason when I first called. Jason is my boy.
His ears, that's his ears.
How you doing?
Getting bad.
Okay.
Ken ears getting bad.
I'm just checking.
Exactly, because Jason is the first point of contact.
Don't make me put you on hold. Don't make me put you on hold. What's your topic?
I've been on hold before.
What's up?
Okay, so we gonna get to the points and stuff about you need college. No, everybody don't. It's not for everybody. Okay.
So what do you call college?
Back in the day,
what do you call college?
College, school, or anything under the education realm where you have to sit down and pay attention to what the teacher's saying. So, we got that out the way, Dr. King, right?
No, you got that out the way.
So we got to get on to my next point, right? Okay, so don't everybody need college because back in the day, they used to call the development of disabled people retarded. And they would put them in their little rooms and stuff, and they was, at that time, what used to be called special ed. But special ed didn't change from them because those teachers back in those days, they was loving, and they got the kids to do the things that they needed to do in life. The teachers, them now, they're so frustrated and stuff because they have all these kids coming in here with these behaviors, and the parents just like, you're a teacher. You should do your job. No, Heifer, no, people, you should do your job, okay? Education starts at home. You start training there. And if you have a problem, that's when you reach out to your community. And everybody jump on the bandwagon. And they be like, okay, this going down, whatever and stuff. We got to make sure this person get this, okay?
Okay.
But, of course, we don't do that anymore. And so now I'm going to switch to leading the country.
Okay, leading the country.
I look at this country and I feel sad because as I read the Bible and stuff, God never intended for us as women to be in charge. And any scholar can tell you that if they pick the Bible apart.
Okay.
He wants a man to be in charge. But they're not. And I'm like, I ain't going to call nobody weak. I'm just saying what I read, okay? But he has had times where he has put women in charge for healing. And one of them was Deborah. She was a prophetess. And he told the commander, go out there and fight that battle. And he was all scared and blah, 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 And then the Lord sent Deborah. And that was victorious. The book of Ruth.
Okay.
When the man was trying to have everybody, he put up some poles so they could be hanged. And he ended up getting hanged on them, okay?
All right.
And I'm not that kind of person that you be like, oh, go find this book and this, that, and that. No, my mother raised me on that book.
So with that, do you believe that God would then give, and I'm not trying to make this a religious thing, but do you think God,
please don't,
through his, you're saying through God's sovereign will that should happen, but do you think God's permissive will would allow that to happen, to have a woman be in charge?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
It's been done before.
Right.
And like they say, history is like this. And what's that quote that people fail to realize? Doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome.
It's called insanity.
That one.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for your time.
All right. Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
God bless.
And so I think I don't know where I guess I'm just going to go down that rabbit hole. I don't know where the misogyny came from, that men can't disagree with a woman without being accused of hating women. That's just weird to me.
Do you think that's because is it that way? Is it or is it the reason why? Because I don't know if it's disagreement, because we disagree with women all the time, but nobody accuses us of being misogynistic. I mean, I think if we do, I think it becomes misogynistic if you just always agreeing with a woman just because you disagreeing with her. If you ain't, if it ain't nothing to stand on,
right? Because you don't want to hear it.
Yeah, because you don't want to hear it. But none of us, I don't think any of us have experienced that. I think and again, I don't want to start speaking for women because I couldn't tell you what misogynistic is because I've never experienced it. But I think when people make a habit out of this disagreement and it goes past the disagreement where you're not worthy enough to even be having a conversation or giving me pointers, I think that's where it starts to get to, and so interesting call. I mean, when we were talking about the polls, just to bring this to that, you look at this and you see more. It is weird, man. You see more women voting for Kamala, more men voting for Donald Trump. Is that misogynistic?
No, that's people doing what they naturally do in terms of being, what's the word I'm looking for?
Now, some of these brothers I think are misogynistic.
Well, sure, some are, but some women are too.
I agree with that.
Like some women turn on you if you don't vote for a woman, then they hate you, and so it happens in both ways.
Yeah.
So then, but I'm a little offended by Barack Obama, former president, who says the reason why men aren't voting for her is misogynistic.
And that's trash.
That we don't like women. And that's just not true.
Because I think that when you play the identity game, it's misdirection from the true issues that they don't think that we don't see what's going on in our neighborhoods. And that's where I get a problem with it. When you try to lump me into the identity, this is a female. No, she only represents an agenda, which is called the left. Mm-hmm. And the left has a whole agenda. It's not just her. It's how they run things. It's what their ideals are. Mm-hmm. It's what their policies are. And you don't have to agree with that.
Right.
Or on the right. You don't have to agree with it. It has nothing to do with the figureheads. It has everything to do of the operation. And many times, I don't like the way this operating. I don't care who the owner is.
So you were I mean, I can see both ways. Like, I see why people got upset. And my concern was, don't put all that on black men, because I don't think we should be allowed to be the scapegoat.
And that's
yes, it's some brothers that have an issue. But I think the narrative is, when you look at, there are more black men supporting her than not. What always concerns me is, somehow black people always get blamed.
Except when something is invented. When something's invented, we don't get credit.
No, we don't get credit.
Well, this is what I see, because and I hate it because black men have been targeted in every aspect of society. And every time they target us, it's always a down talking. Mm-hmm. Like we don't know what we talking about.
Tory.
And
do you think it was patronizing what Obama did?
Yeah, it was.
I think that he trashed for that, because he's talking down instead of. Obama had his time. We already know what the Obama administration looked like. We had 8 years of Obama. And like I said, in that process, a lot of people woke up to identity politics and recognized what that is, and they were able to calculate the outcomes. So if anybody is to blame for men not really falling into the identity politics, it's him.
I got nothing.
No, you said because I wasn't offended by it. I can see why people would be. Again, my greater concern was...
Yeah, but you generalized about all black men.
I got
a problem with that.
I have an issue with that.
And now you're telling black men that they don't have a right to feel how they feel. And if you do, it's misogynistic. You have a hatred for women, that's why.
And Lil Scrappy...
Can't be legitimate.
Hold on. Lil Scrappy came out the other day, and I was going to put this on my show, but you said, you know what? I said, I'm not going to fall for this. Because what they're trying to do is invoke the black male. You don't see them challenging the Jewish male. You don't see them challenging the Muslim male.
That was my issue.
You don't see them challenging the Native American male.
Or the entire Christian church.
You don't see them challenging nobody, but they want to come at black men like we are the one that's disillusional. And so I got to stand up and say, you don't own my vote. You can't count my vote like you got it already.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to respect the vote that we talking about and the things that are going on in our community. And if we're not getting a result, we got every right to decide whatever we want to do because you're not doing nothing anyway.
833-212-1017 is the number. Jason Fields, Tory Lowe, I don't know what's going to happen when we come back because right now the fight is on. We still ain't talked about the data.
Oh.
That's because y'all keep going back and forth. You're listening to Truth on Politics.
Forgot that's what we're supposed
Don't
to talk
touch
about.
that dial. The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
Donors choose. Support a classroom. Build a future.
Did you know that every year, public school teachers spend nearly $500 of their own money for student supplies? Let's do the math. That comes out to over $1.2 billion a year. And that's just not right. At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your help. Here's what you can do. Go to DonorsChoose.org and choose from teachers' requests that support reading, math, science, history, and more. Once a request is funded, we'll take care of shipping everything directly to the teacher. It's that easy. You'll receive thank you letters and photos from students and teachers and a report of how every dollar was spent. Teachers' needs have never been greater. Learn more at DonorsChoose.org.
Donors choose. Support a classroom. Build a future.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Telly Hughes with his truth.
I want to stress the importance of a positive mindset. Everything begins as a thought before it ever becomes an action. So it's extremely important to purposely place yourself in positive spaces to help shape and nurture those thoughts. I know you're probably thinking, okay, Telly, let's be realistic. Look, I get it. You may work with people with bad energy, or you may even be related to people who are negative by nature. In this journey called life, there will be many things that come your way that's out of your control. But what you can control is how you respond. Understand this. You have the right to either tap in or tap out of whatever energy that may come your way. And that's how you can control and protect your positive spaces. The mind is where it all starts, and if your thoughts are centered around positivity, you'll see how things begin to transform. You'll see a noticeable difference between things happening for you versus things always happening to you. You begin to grow through situations as opposed to just going through tough situations. Make it a priority to surround yourself with positive people and create those positive spaces and begin to experience the fruits of what a positive mindset can produce. Trust me, it takes work to creating these spaces, and you have to be intentional about it. And I'm committed to putting in the work because I'm living proof that it's well worth the peace a positive mindset brings.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
It's going to be afford.
This is The Truth on Politics on 101.7.
You gonna quit taking them jabs at me.
101.7.
You're listening to, I don't know what you're talking about, Jason. What you talking about? You're listening to Truth on Politics. So, current data. What do the polls actually say about polls on... And so I've been looking at polls and looking at, I think the closest one was like 6 hours ago, and how this is really going to fly. And at some point, it's so close, I can't see anybody. I can't see anybody being able to figure out who's going to win this. And that's one of my questions toward the end of the show. Like, one of my questions is who's going to win. And I don't really know what you would
go off of.
I'm just clueless.
I'll tell you what I'm going off of. I was trying not to look at all these freaking polls because I think, and I told Tori and Ken this off air, I'm still traumatized from, at one point, the polls had us thinking Hillary Clinton was going to win, and then next thing we know, that wasn't true. And even if you look at last year, the polls were, it's going to be this red wave. That wasn't true. It's going to be this blue wave. That ain't true. And then I was thinking about myself on my way here. Why don't I ever know? Between the three of us, we know a lot of people.
Right.
But I'm going to go out on a limb and say most of us probably never talked to anybody who's been talked to by one of these posters. Maybe.
No.
I don't know anybody that's ever been talked to.
I have in my entire life taken at least 2 of those polls.
2 in your entire life?
Yep.
Well, now they hitting you up on the phone. Did you take the poll yet? Did you vote yet?
Here's what I think is, so I think she's going to pull it off, but here's why.
Yeah.
It was certain stuff that just went weird for me. Number one, why would she go to Texas and one of her last stops when Texas is not normally a stronghold? And why would he spend more time in Madison when he probably won't win that area? And it just didn't, strategically, it didn't make sense.
But?
Is there a but?
Yes.
And then you do this rally, and I don't know, we can talk about the stuff that was said, but from a strategic point of view, how do you make those kind of unforced errors? And so, that being said, I think there's still not a lot of people who we haven't contacted, we haven't looked at. I think she'll pull it out, but I wouldn't trust the polls on, because they're talking about it might even be a tie. We may not even see a winner, particularly if you just said all those polls looks like it's split down the middle, half for her, half for him.
Right.
So if I'm going off of just some of the last movements made, maybe she pulls it out.
Well, but you have to remember this. One of the mistakes, and that Hillary Clinton is a textbook political science, research.
She's a case study.
She's a case study of what not to do, because when you say every vote counts, literally every vote counts. It makes absolutely no sense to be a Republican and only go to Republican strongholds, or be a Democrat and only go to Democratic strongholds.
Mm-hmm.
A certain person ran for governor, Republican, lost, not because of the WOW counties, because of the BOW counties.
So you see her going to Texas, him going to New York.
I see that as something, because what happens is if I got 0.2% and I can scrape off 0.3 or 0.4 in each of those places, that's my 50, 100,000, 200,000 votes. I'm golden nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't see it that way. They see it as staunchly left and staunchly right.
Mm-hmm.
Those
when the real people that decide is the independents.
The independents are going to decide it.
They always
You've already alienated black males.
Mm-hmm.
You've never really gone after white women. So both sides have a little contingency that we don't know how they're going to vote.
I'll say this. When I'm looking at some of the things that are going on in 2024 in black communities, I see my brothers and sisters down in Chicago saying that they're going to turn Chicago red. That's their whole movement.
I've seen it.
They trying to move it like that. They're trying to move the needle because a lot of people are questioning
because of their
some of the management. Yeah, some of the things
the
that have been done in these
socialists.
Right now with social media and the way that everybody's starting to examine the way that the left has been running the black communities, because we've been voting at a high rate in these communities.
You think it's going to go red this year?
No, I don't know. But what I'm telling you was what they're trying to do.
It's not going to be as staunchly Democratic as it used to be.
Yeah, it's not like that. I'm just saying that there's going to be some takeaway on the liberal side with the black vote. They're going to go over to the other side.
So what is it? What hurt them in Chicago? Is it the
migrants?
The migrants,
the undocumented migrant situation,
where they started putting up the money in the houses,
and then when they started holding the council meetings, they was trying to lock the residents out, and these were lifetime Democrats.
And the fact that you have money that you could be helping a black community that's already homeless, a white community, Hispanic, Asian, all those folks that were born and raised in Chicago, you're not helping them. But you're putting people out of hotels and putting migrants into hotels.
Do you think
that
that'll transfer over to the federal level, though?
In Chicago, it will, because Chicago is a democratic city. They understand how the system and the policies work, and they work. Right now, they don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. They just want a system that works. My streets clean and no reckless drive, right? But when you're telling me you're not going to give it to me, and the money that you used to give to me, I'm literally taking from you and giving it to people that don't even belong in a country. And then on top of that, giving them $750.
Now that we got social media, what Ken just said, everybody's watching this happen.
Right.
And people are not just sitting back like we stupid. We watch it. We know what's going on in our neighborhoods. And I think that the surprise element of hope is not there. Like it used to be, because everybody used to say, we're going to get this. Hold on. Just hold on a little longer. But then the migrants came in Afghanistan. Everybody got it.
And got in class.
So now that's not there. That illusion is not there anymore. And that's going to be a problem this election.
And got in classrooms. And you move students out of classrooms to put migrants in those classrooms. Like, wait a minute. It's gotten to the point where people said, okay, we're done. And there was no real big blow up.
Mm-hmm.
They simply went, okay, we're done. Let's go see. They did what Michigan and Detroit did last time. Well, let's go see what's on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we are watching this. I mean, I don't think that my black community is just limited to Milwaukee.
Right.
I get calls from all across the country about incidents, community ideas. I'm involved in a lot of stuff, beyond, across the United States. So when we hear the chatter of what's going on and how people moving, and we got to go through meetings and have analysis and statistics and how this is going to equate.
I need a blue ribbon panel.
All of a sudden, people start popping up, getting things, and we be like, "Where was the meetings at?
Right.
Where was the C-SPAN at? Where was the subcommittee meetings at?" We've been duped. We've been tricked
again.
Hey, so like I said, a lot of people are coming to that logic, and however they want to use that understanding, they got every right to.
So who gonna win?
I think that Trump will win.
You think he's gonna pull it off?
I think that Trump can win because the black vote is not there at 80%. And with that being the case, and then the white woman vote being at 53%, it could go up. But what I'm saying is those two combinations if those two things stay steady, the Democrats gonna have a problem this time around.
I can hear some sisters saying brothers and white girls.
Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it.
Brothers and white girls.
I can hear it.
Brothers and white girls.
But like I said, but they running behind the white girls.
Brothers and these white girls.
They running behind them because when everybody was saying they was gonna vote for Hillary Clinton, they had everybody. All the women was supposed to be. All the women standing independent. Throw your hands up at me. Then Trump won at 53% of the vote of the white women vote. So so what is that?
I'm still traumatized by it, man.
But why are you traumatized?
You know what? No, I'm
because I know you're being
right. Traumatized by the one. I think it was that 2016 was the one point where, because we used to put faith in polls, but then I think there was my awakening in the construction of the polls and who they're talking to. Right. That was the realization that. Hey, wait a second.
You only talk to yes people.
Right. Wait a second. I can't trust these polls because I don't know who they talking to.
Right.
And then, you never know what people going to do once they get in that booth, right? You never really know. And then I think to the degree how we manage some stuff. And that's on both sides, how we manage the outreach. There are some things where I'm surprised that, again, when we talk about the Obama addressing black men and looking at how
and Tyler Perry
and looking at how brothers was like, yo, man, you didn't. It's like you said, you didn't come to us with respect. You know what I mean? Where you approached us, and then to your point,
yep.
It's us in here. It's white men. It's white women. Why we the only people you talking to?
Right.
You know. And I think Ken, you said it. That should have been a hey, let me holler at y'all.
Let's have a closed door. Let me go to the fraternities and to the Masons and
or you could have hit it.
Okay,
you could have been like, I'm a brother now, but all the men try to, sway it a little, kind of include everybody. But hey, I'm a black male, but all the men, try to sneak it in there. No, I'm talking to you, Negro. You ain't acting right now.
Get in line.
You to get in line.
Yeah.
And I can see how, number one, if approached like that, right? Which, again, I think is very valid for some brothers, man. And then for me, the biggest thing was like, why is it we're always the one being talked to like that? That was my issue. Like, why are we the ones when, again, and are you feeding into the narrative that black men ain't supporting her? Because I think you have a small percentage.
I believe that men, period, she has an issue with males. Why are we singled out? Okay.
Right. Why are black?
Okay, so I think that it's not, why are we singled out? We actually, if you go 100% of black men that's supporting her, the majority may be supporting her.
Right.
So why are that little percentage is being, when it's a large percentage of white males, it's a large percentage of Muslims, it's a large percentage of other people that don't even mess with her like that, but the small percentage that used to be there that decide, hey, look, we ain't riding with this time is being targeted. But if you really look at the black male overall, it's more black men that's supporting that woman, and that's embarrassing because they not looking at that at all.
833-212-1017 is the number. Hit us on the talk and text line. When we come back, Jason Fields, Tori Lowe, I'm Dr. Ken Harris. You're listening to Truth on Politics.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube returns next.
Truth Nation, this is Truth Be Told's Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes.
And we want to encourage you to get out and vote on Tuesday, November the 5th.
Your vote matters, and this is the election where you can make your mark.
If you have not registered to vote yet, that is quite okay because you can register to vote on Election Day in Wisconsin. Yes, same day voter registration.
Visit myvote.wi.gov to find your ballot and polling location. That is myvote.wi.gov.
Shape your future, Truth Nation, by getting out to vote on Tuesday, November the 5th.
Are you an African American or Hispanic adult with elevated A1C and currently treating your type 2 diabetes? The University of Wisconsin needs your help to participate in Enrich, a diabetes research study which may involve working with a pharmacist and or a community health worker. Most discussions will be held over the phone. All participants will receive compensation. For more information, call Delicia now at 414-550-1016. That's 414-550-1016 and ask Delicia about Enrich.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269BL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth on Politics on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to The Truth on Politics. Tori Lowe, Jason Fields, Dr. Ken Harris. So, word is, Kamala Harris gave a really, really, really great speech just now. And we're looking at CNN where black voters in critical Georgia County on why they're undecided. I mean, there's literally so much stuff going on.
It is a lot.
I think there is absolutely no way an actual polling company could figure out who's going to win.
What's going on in Florida, though? Like with all those hurricanes, it's a lot of talk about how they're going to do those people that lost everything, how they're going to vote.
Well, Florida's still at 53% Republican.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, those are the polls as of today.
Mm-hmm.
They show it at 53%.
Okay.
To 47. So
okay. I mean, I'm just saying because I was looking at people that lost a lot of. So I was wondering how they were going to get all of that together down there. So
I don't know if they'll be. Maybe they will. But I mean, one of the issues I think was when you looked at that, the area that was affected by it. I think because Florida is heavily Republican, but because they still have a 4-point margin or something like that, it may not make a huge bit of difference. No. But again, with coming back to these data and the polls, I don't know how it's still, and this is me, I don't know how it's still so close.
Really?
I don't, because I think at some point we've passed policy.
But nobody's done anything.
What do you mean?
To push themselves forward. Like you literally know what you're getting in both camps. Like there's nothing any of them said that made you go, oh.
Plus, the Democrats should be elated that they even in the game right now because they made the switch.
I agree with that.
From Biden to Kamala Harris.
I agree with that.
And so y'all should be happy that y'all even in a close race.
I agree with that. Point. My issue is when you look at Trump as a person,
right?
I don't know how you make that decision.
Well, when you look at Kamala Harris as what she doing,
you really think she worse than Donald Trump?
Let me tell you something.
Tory.
I believe that the agendas that they pushing, yes. I believe the agendas that they pushing on the black community is terrible.
But is that better than the Republicans, or is it worse than the Republicans?
What I'm saying is, anytime,
because I think they did the Republicans.
You want me to tell you?
I think they did. I think they did the Republicans.
Say this. I didn't want to say this on the air now. Because I can say something now.
You ain't got to.
I'm loaded now.
You got to.
I got the loaded tater tots for you. You feel me? Okay.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to keep it, in the space where we ain't messing with no FCC. Okay. But don't do that because I got something for you.
T.
Don't challenge me on that.
You can't sit here and tell me you think Donald Trump is a better candidate.
But then now you're trying to make it personal when I said that I'm
talking about policy.
There's no agenda on the left that I agree with.
Okay.
This time I'm not rocking with the left.
I can respect that.
Okay. So it's not about her because she represents the left to me. And so when you talk about some of the policies that they're preaching and they're talking about that's affecting our community, I'm just not rocking with the left.
I can appreciate that, but are you ignoring his policies? Are you ignoring the police immunity? Are you ignoring?
Okay, but we already
But police immunity is not a policy. We already have it through the U.S. Supreme Court.
Okay, so that's a
They're
fair
just codifying what
because it's already bad. They already seem like they got that level of immunity when we out here fighting on the front lines. So what I'm looking at is what they doing with the children, what they doing with the undocumented. What my brothers and sisters, we talk about these certain things that are directly affecting our community. And don't let me get started about, what happened in California with the reparations, where they said the Black Caucus side them up and they feel frustrated and they was out protesting, and that was Democrats. So what I'm saying is it's multiple ideas that's going on.
Right.
And right now, just like Wisconsin is a swing state, it's just we just ain't. I'm just not feeling personally. I'm just not feeling what's going on the left, and maybe hopefully down the road they may could get it together where I can feel it because we've been voting that way. We've been on that side, but I think that a lot of people are raising eyebrows saying, "Hey, wait a minute, what y'all doing with these children? The policies that y'all got out here that's happening with these kids." And I don't want to say y'all already know what's happening. We ain't got to talk about it, but what I'm saying is happening. And then for the simple fact that all of a sudden money falling out the sky for these undocumented migrants, but then when we got to go through analytics, we got to go through 2 years of study, we got to have professors at the table, and I ain't seen none of that for them. So we have every right to feel the way we feel, and like you feel the way you feel.
Yeah, but if it's a policy, if it's a policy issue, if it's policy issues. And because some of the policy stuff we agree on, I mean, again, I think y'all know my track record with folks. For me, it's we passed the policy. For me now, I'm looking at, And if you say I don't agree with her policies, okay, I can accept that.
I don't agree with nothing on the left right now.
I can accept that.
Zero.
I can accept that. What's challenging me though, what's challenging me is at this point, I'm looking at who's going to be a better person for this country morally.
Morally? Don't do that.
Well, let him.
Come on.
He's saying his.
Okay, because the same stuff you can say about her morally, I can bring up some of the same
stuff. You trying to make it him and her. I'm talking
because
about
it is
these
him
kids.
and her. It is a him and her.
I'm talking about the community.
It is a him and her.
I'm talking about the community. You trying to make it him and her.
Because
I'm
it is a him and her.
It
is a him and her.
It's only two people running carrying. Hold on.
It's only two people running. It is a him and her.
But they're representing agendas.
Yes.
So don't make me narrow my vision to them I'm trying to talk about what they're doing in our neighborhood.
Saying her vision or her morals is worse than his?
No, what I'm saying is I'm for conventional families, man, woman, and child. They on their agendas, they for unconventional families. They for nuclear ideas that I don't even know what that is, okay? So they telling you they for unconventional families. And anytime you get out of God's order, which is man, woman, and child, I got a problem with that.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
Let's get it.
But it's more than just that
about
issue.
Morals.
But it's more than just that issue.
No, that's to you. You got your
You
issues.
think it's just one issue, though?
No, you said that. I didn't say that.
No,
I said I got the loaded tater tot. I said I got the loaded. I could knock out a lot of issues that I don't like.
And you, okay.
Y'all got about 1 minute.
I can, hey, Jason, I'm telling you, once you get out of the order of man, woman, and child, I'm out. I'm out, and it ain't nothing you can say after that.
Okay.
And it's a wrap.
Okay. I think it's more to it than just that.
Especially when you're a black community where they socially engineered and destroyed the black family. And so we have a large rate of single family households that we got to deal with in our communities, and I deal with it all the time.
But who that's
okay.
30 seconds.
No, because
let him answer.
Because you had conservatives do that. Republicans ushered in the whole welfare reform, get the brother out the house. That was a conservative movement.
No, not back in the 1960s.
Y'all, that started in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Under top.
That didn't start in slavery?
No, this was before that.
Okay.
It happened before that.
About slavery.
I know what you're talking about.
Right.
All right, come on now. You can't say it started right there.
Well,
Stop.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, no, I'm talking about when it started from slavery.
So then that ain't even a policy thing. That's just white
party
people
that created the KKK. So
we've devolved into, so we're done. You're listening to The Truth on Politics.
Now we're getting good. Now we're ready when we're about to end.
It's many reasons why we don't have to go with this.
You're listening to Truth on Politics. Jason Fields, Tori Lowe.
I love you.
I know, bro.
Y'all gonna come back next week and come on the show so we can continue this?
Yeah, we can.
I'm serious.
I got 1 to 4. We good.
All right.
He said I got 1 to 4.
Hey, y'all, God bless. Take care.
Winning yet.
I want to say thank you for listening.
My boy,
I don't know what we're going to do. And as far as that watermelon joke went, I'm sorry. It was funny. You're listening to Truth on Politics.
He gonna start.
I'm out.
Oh, he didn't throw the watermelon in there. See, this is where
you should have started off with that early.
You can still slap.
Hello, Milwaukee. Did you know that the average American doesn't get enough fiber in their diet, and this can affect everything from your cholesterol, blood sugar, and your weight? We have a special offer for Truth listeners that you can take advantage of today on our wonderful fiber gummies.